how I customized my MAC makeup palette, single palette. And I am, as you can see, these are not regular size 26 mm pans. These are actually my Sephora pans from the Sephora Deluxe Christmas palette organza thing, you know, where it's like 180 shadows and blushes and lipsticks and all those things. Anyway, so it's a little bit smaller than 26 mm, actually a lot smaller than 26 mm, and I will show you a comparison. This is MAC standard 26 mm pans, so you can see there how this compares to these little ones. I don't know if you guys have noticed, but in my background there, you can see that it's aluminum or steel. It's not black. You know, this is supposed to be black. And here's the reason why. I'm gonna show you guys what I bought from Blix, and all the items that I have are from Blix. I bought it with my own money, of course. And this is just a regular steel, not even board, because it's more pliable than board. It's just a steel sheet. And what you do is you measure out how, you know, the length and the width of the palette, and you cut it out, and then you just stick it in there, and I think it looks so much nicer. And again, that's just what I like. And also, the thing with these pans in the Sephora palette, they're not meant to be stuck on magnetic palettes or anything like that, so they're not magnetic themselves. So what I had to do was I had to purchase these from Blix also. It's flexible magnets, and as you can see there, they come in like sets of little magnets, so you get 10 in total. And what I did was I just super glued it to the back of these of these pans, and like I said, they fit perfectly, and they hold much stronger than if I had bought just a regular magnetic sheet or magnetic paper. It just wouldn't stick. Like the magnet in this MAC palette is not strong enough to hold. On the other hand, the steel palette, you know, obviously it's polarized also, so it wouldn't really like cut off any magnetic pathways from the magnet to the magnet of the palette, the MAC palette. If anything, it actually made it stronger for the magnets to stick on. Now I will show you a comparison. Here you go. Okay, so as you can see, these parts are elevated and this one isn't. That's because these have the magnets on the back, and so that's what it does. You can see here, it's 0.5 inches, so it's half an inch, and since it is half an inch, obviously it's going to take some space, or take up some space, as you can see here. These have magnets, these don't. See, you can see the thickness there. It's half an inch. You can actually cut that in half. It's really, you know, it's rubberized, but I suggest that if you want to do that, you have to have some type of electric cutter or something like that where you can really cut it in half straight. You know, I tried to do it with a knife, but it just didn't cut it straight. So when I placed it on here, it's, you know, it's a little bit wonky looking. So I just use the whole thing, and it's a nice elevation because these are pretty deep. I think you know, they're made to fit domed shadows, domed blushes, so it elevates it, and it's nice because I don't know, I just like it. I like this better than this one over here. As you can see here, it fits a lot of these size pants, and again, I don't know exactly how big these pants are, but it fits 66 pants of the little ones. Again, here's another comparison. It's really tiny compared to these. And just a little bit, I do have another video which I can link down below of how I did it, but just another recap. This is, you know, the where these pans came from. This is how the palette was. And the reason why I took them out and I placed them here is because I realized I have so many shadows and I keep buying more and more and more, and I realized that really you can only buy so many colors. Like, you're bound to, every time you buy a palette, you're bound to have colors on there that are the same colors as what you have in your other previous palettes, and you just don't know about it because you can't see it, because your palettes are just black without clear top or like that. And so I opted on, you know, taking out all my shadows, and these are clear. These are my drugstore ones, but I want to put them in a unified console so that, you know, I'm just able to look at all the colors I have at that moment, and, you know, I can finally utilize everything that I have. And so, you know, that's just a nice way. Also, on a side note, this MAC single palette is actually cheaper than the Z palette that I've found. I don't know the size comparison of their large. This is the size large at MAC. And, you know, I don't know if their large is bigger in the Z palette, but nevertheless, this is the large at MAC, and it's $18 without, you know, before tax, and it's way cheaper than the Z palette, which I don't really understand. They have a double spaced palette for $25 again, which isn't that bad. It's only a couple more dollars from 18, and I opted on buying this. And since I am now thinking that I want to transfer, you know, all the palettes I have in clear case, I want to ask you guys if you know any brand or any website that sells makeup cases that are clear, like makeup palettes that are clear, because I know Coastal Scents doesn't, they sell, but it's not clear, and Z palette is just too much for my bracket. I don't think it's justified for me to buy $30 for an empty makeup palette, but so this is the cheapest that I've found so far. You know, another thing that I can look for, which I am going to after this video, is it doesn't even have to be, like I said, because I have the magnets and these steel sheets, I don't need the makeup palette to be magnetized itself. I don't need it because the magnet will stick onto the metal sheet. So nevertheless, if it's magnetized or not, I could always buy one of these for like $2 at Blake's and cut it to the size of the palette. If you guys know where I can buy that, definitely let me know. And I'm just verbally talking to you and describing how I did the metal sheets. If you guys want, I can actually show you how I did it when cutting the metal sheet and placing it onto the palette. Going back to what I was previously saying before this little side note, this is a little recap from what I did on my how-to video for taking off the pans in the Sephora palette. So you guys watch that video if you guys want to see it. Okay, so I will see you next time. Bye!